No, it was so hot. Oh my god, it was so hot on the top. Can you start it over?
Yes.
Hi, this is Rachel, and today, this is an episode for my dad, who somehow always has a pot of Arroz Caldo ready for me when I come home. This series is called The Sago Show, where I'm exploring the roots and digging deeper into the history behind some of my favorite Filipino dishes and sweets. For all you congee, lugao, porridge, chicken soup lovers, today we're going to make one of my favorite comfort meals, Arroz Caldo. Dad, if you're watching, I apologize in advance because I am doing it a little differently than you do. I'm going to start by making my own chicken broth, but you can also skip this and use store-bought chicken stock. So to start, I have 2 chicken thighs and legs, half a large onion, and a couple of green things that I found in my fridge, including baby bok choy and cilantro. I'm also going to be adding 1 tablespoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of peppercorns, and a couple of bay leaves. For this recipe, I'm going to be using my Instant Pot. As I'm queuing this up, if you've watched the first 4 episodes of The Sago Show, you may have noticed that I haven't talked very much about the influence that Chinese tradespeople had on Filipino cuisine. So far in the timeline from what we've established, working backwards, we know that the Philippines became a colony of the United States, and in the 300 years before that was a colony of Spain. But even before that, like the 9th century, tradespeople from China brought things like noodles and egg rolls that became indigenized so that we know them today as pancit and lumpia. Indigenization, which we talked about in part 3, is the process of how a food is adapted and transformed from its originating culture with indigenous preparation and local ingredients so that it becomes what we now know as a Filipino dish. Now go ahead and top this off with 8 cups of water and cook on manual for 20 minutes with a natural release for about 10 minutes. Now that we're finished, we're going to remove everything from the broth. And so as I do this, Arroz Caldo, even though it is named in Spanish, is coming from Chinese influence. And while there are Spanish touches with the spices and chicken, this is most recognizably coming from the rice porridge that you see in Chinese cuisine. Also, I will add that homemade chicken broth is very easy and super tasty. What I like is that you can add random veggies that you have in your fridge and dump them in for added flavor. In my pan over medium heat, I'm going to saute 4 cloves of garlic in a tablespoon of oil. And I'm super bad at this. Do you see how my garlic pieces are getting overcooked very quickly? This means that my heat is too high. And look, I'm not going to make an entirely new video and make a new batch of Arroz Caldo and record a new voiceover where I'm not even talking about this because this happened a couple of months ago. It's all right. Just remove the garlic and add half of a chopped onion and this much ginger, and add back the garlic. I like having the ginger pieces be pretty big because I like to fish them out later, and it's tough to do that if they're in really small pieces. Next, add 6 chicken wings and cook the outsides here for a couple of minutes. Then add half a tablespoon of safflower, which is what's going to bring a yellow color to the Arroz Caldo, and then 1 cup of rice. Continue to saute this for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then add in all of our chicken broth. Keep stirring this so that the bottom doesn't burn. And so going back, Arroz Caldo is a dish that is indigenized from what Chinese tradespeople had brought, but it has a Spanish name. And while we do refer to some foods with words that come from Chinese language like lomi and mami, it was pretty common that the Spanish came to the Philippines and they started naming things with their own language, and that still persists today. And that makes me think, do you know how in the US people are pretty set on pronouncing things however they want? Like they'll say your name a dozen different ways and then just decide to call you Rachel L. That same mentality, like this dominant power presiding over language, is nothing new. And that's why even though Chinese tradespeople had been there for centuries before the Spanish came, we call it Arroz Caldo. Now, cover the pot and simmer. I can't tell you exactly how long this takes because you're just gonna have to keep coming back to check it as the rice cooks. Every so often, give it a stir so that it doesn't burn. Eventually, it'll look like this. Yum! Remove the chicken for now, and the ginger pieces. And now I'm going to take the chicken thighs from the broth from earlier and shred this and the chicken wings. And to go back to what I was saying, the interesting part of doing all of this research for me is that all of these little details, like who brought the dish, what's in it, and who got to name it, every single little thing matters. And if there's anything that's come through in each of these episodes so far, it's that everything has a reason behind it if you look. We can now add the chicken back to the pot. And one of the most exciting things about eating arroz caldo is the toppings. We're gonna fry a couple of cloves of chopped garlic until they're crispy, and this time it doesn't matter if they get too crispy, then set it aside. This one is a non-negotiable for me. If you're not gonna do the other toppings, I really think that you should do this one. It makes a huge difference. I sadly don't have calamansi, but a lime is going to do, so slice this up. Next, I have store-bought puffy fried tofu, which adds a fun texture. I know for my family, we always have tokwa somewhere in our house available. And lastly, I have a little bit of patis or fish sauce on the side. And as I assemble this, I want to say thank you again for watching this. And if you're Filipinx and watching, I hope that this helps to better think about the power structures in our history that still manifest today and how connected we are to that history. At least that's how it helped me. And with these power structures, what is it going to mean to decolonize from them? Stay tuned. I would say this bowl of arroz caldo is the best thing to have on a cold day, or if you're sick, or if you're just craving the comfort of a family member having your food warmed up and ready when you come back home. Wow, next up is the last episode in the series, at least for now. Thank you so much for your support and for watching and subscribing. I would love to hear from you in the comments to know other recipes that you'd want to learn about. And if you have a friend that you know might like this video, please share it with them and let them know to subscribe. I'm really grateful for you watching this right now, and I'll see you at the upcoming episode next week on the Sago Show. Salamat.